Hello friends, welcome to QuickFlex Recap. This video is consisting upon 4 parts in the same video for better understanding of the concept. The screen opens on a quiet glow. Not a sunrise, not a city, just the cold blue light of a phone waking up before its owner does. Somewhere in America, millions of people are reaching for a screen before their feet touch the floor. Notifications stack like tiny alarms. Likes, shares, comments. A heartbeat measured in vibrations. This is not a thriller. It is not science fiction. It is a true story about the most powerful machines ever built. And the twist is simple and terrifying. They are already inside your pocket. The social dilemma does not begin with explosions or villains in masks. It begins with smiles, friendly logos, a promise that the world can be more connected, more open, more informative. But as the film slowly pulls the curtain back, another truth creeps in. These platforms are not neutral. They are not passive tools. They are systems designed to shape behavior, influence, emotion, and quietly rewrite how people think, feel, and react. At the heart of this story are the people who helped build the digital world. Former engineers, designers, and executives from companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. These are not outsiders throwing stones. They're insiders who once believed in the mission. They helped create the buttons, the feeds, the alerts, and the endless scroll. Now they are sounding the alarm. Tristan Harris, a former Google design ethicist, steps into the frame with a calm voice and tired eyes. He does not shout. He does not accuse. About how every color, every vibration, every delay is carefully tested to keep users engaged. Not happy. Time equals money, and attention is the most valuable resource on Earth. The film moves like a slow burn. Each interview adds another layer. Asa Raskin, the man who invented the infinite scroll, admits he never imagined the consequences. Justin Rosenstein, who helped create the like button, describes regret. These features were meant to feel good, to spark connection. Instead, they became levers, tiny psychological hooks pulling users back again and again. But the social dilemma does not rely on interviews alone. It weaves in a fictional narrative that feels uncomfortably real. A suburban family. A mother. The youngest son checks his phone constantly, chasing approval. The older sister becomes trapped in a spiral of comparison and self-doubt. The middle son falls down a rabbit hole of extreme content, guided by recommendations that grow more aggressive with every click. Inside his phone, the film imagines a control room. 3 versions of the same man represent the algorithm. They watch his behavior like stock traders. They adjust the feed in real time. They push content that will keep him hooked. Anger works. This is where the title earns its weight. The dilemma is not just about users. It is about the people who build the systems. How do you stop something that makes money by amplifying the worst parts of human nature? How do you change a model that rewards outrage over truth? How do you protect society when the tools shaping it evolve faster than laws, ethics, or understanding? The film frames social media as a massive experiment, one with no control group, billions of participants, no informed consent. Algorithms learn faster than humans can adapt. They find what triggers emotion and they press on it again and again. Not because they are evil, but because they are optimized. As the tension builds, the stakes widen. This is no longer just about screen time or teenage anxiety. The social dilemma connects the dots to misinformation, polarization, and the erosion of shared reality. When everyone lives in a personalized feed, truth fractures. 2 people can see the same event and walk away with opposite beliefs, and both feeds insist they are right. The experts describe how fake news spreads faster than facts, how outrage travels farther than calm, how platforms claim neutrality while quietly choosing what rises and what disappears. The phrase free product comes up again and again. If you are not paying, you are not the customer. You are the product. The film never lets the viewer sit comfortably. It keeps asking questions without pausing for answers. What happens to democracy when attention is manipulated? What happens to children when validation is quantified? What happens when machines learn to predict and influence behavior better than people understand themselves? Even the creators seem unsure how to fix what they helped unleash. Regulation feels slow. Self-control feels weak. Turning off notifications feels like a drop in the ocean, yet the warning is clear. This system will not correct itself. Left unchecked, it will keep pushing until something breaks. By the end of this opening chapter, the mood is set. This is not a lecture. It is a countdown, a story about good intentions, unintended consequences, and a digital world that knows you better than you know yourself. The question hanging in the air is simple and unsettling. If the algorithm controls what you see, how much of your life is really your choice? Part 2 opens by pulling the camera deeper into the machine. The interviews continue, but now they feel less like warnings and more like confessions. Each former insider explains how a simple goal slowly turned into something uncontrollable. At first, the mission was connection, make it easier to talk to friends. But once advertising became the fuel, everything changed. The platforms learned that human attention could be measured, predicted, and sold. And once that door opened, there was no closing it again. Tristan Harris explains how the business model works in plain terms. Advertisers pay to influence behavior, not just buying products, but shaping opinions, moods, and decisions. Well, the system needs data, massive amounts of it. Every click, pause, swipe, and scroll becomes a signal. The algorithm watches constantly, learning what keeps each user engaged the longest. It does not care if the content is true, healthy, or humane. It only cares if it works. The film cuts back to the fictional family. The middle son sits alone in his room, phone glowing in the dark. At first, his feed shows harmless videos and jokes. He watches one clip slightly longer than the rest. The algorithm notices. Inside the control room, the three figures lean forward. They adjust the feed. The next video pushes a stronger opinion. He watches. The system smiles. Day by day, the content shifts. What began as curiosity hardens into belief. The recommendations grow sharper, louder, more divisive. The boy does not search for extreme ideas. They find him. Each suggestion feels like his own choice, but the path has already been shaped. Back in the real world, the experts explain how recommendation engines operate. They do not understand truth or context. They understand patterns. If content triggers emotion, it spreads. If it spreads, it is rewarded. Lies often beat facts because they are simpler, more disociing, and easier to share. The algorithm does not know it is lying. It only knows it is winning. She scrolls through images of perfect bodies, perfect lives, perfect smiles. Each photo carries a number. Likes, comments, popularity reduced to metrics. She posts a picture. It gets fewer likes than expected. Her mood drops. Inside the control room, the system takes note. Sadness increases engagement. Comparison keeps users coming back. The feed fills with more idealized images. The film pauses to explain how social validation works on the brain. Dopamine spikes with approval, anxiety rises with silence. Teenagers, whose identities are still forming, are especially vulnerable. The expats cite rising rates of depression, anxiety, and self-harm among young users. The timing matches the spread of smartphones and social platforms. Correlation is not proof, but the pattern is hard to ignore. Meanwhile, the youngest child in the family is glued to games and videos, pulled in by autoplay and endless feeds. There is no natural stopping point, no signal that says enough. Infinite scroll removes friction. Autoplay removes choice. The system decides what comes next before the user even asks. The documentary shifts to a broader scale. This is not just about individual harm. It is about society. Polarization increases as platforms learn that outrage drives engagement. Conversation does not travel far. Anger spreads fast. Fear spreads faster. The algorithm begins grouping users into bubbles, showing each person a version of reality tailored to their beliefs. The experts describe filter bubbles and echo chambers. Two users search the same phrase and receive different results, not because one is wrong, but because the system predicts what each will click. Over time, these personalized realities drift apart. Shared truth erodes. Dialogue becomes conflict. The fictional middle son attends a rally promoted through his feed. He feels seen, understood, energized. Inside the control room, the figures celebrate. The system does not see a person. The film does not paint the engineers as monsters. It shows them as people trapped inside incentives. Growth is rewarded. Profit is expected. Questioning the system risks careers. Several interviewees described moments when they realized something was wrong. A feature increased engagement, but harmed users. Each time, the same questions surfaced. The social dilemma highlights how these platforms scale faster than any previous technology. Billions of users, real-time experimentation. A single change can affect entire countries overnight. Laws move slowly. Ethics committees lag behind. The technology races ahead, guided by optimization rather than wisdom. The experts speak about elections, conspiracy theories, and mob behavior amplified by social media. They describe how misinformation campaigns exploit the same tools designed for advertising. The system cannot tell the difference between persuasion and manipulation. The fictional family begins to fracture. Dinner conversations turn tense. Phones come to the table. Arguments spark over beliefs shaped by unseen feeds. The mother tries to set limits. The kids resist. The platforms are always on, always pulling. The message becomes clear. This is not about bad users making bad choices. It is about systems designed to influence behavior at scale. Systems that know human psychology better than humans do. Systems that never sleep. Part 2 ends with a sense of inevitability. The machine is running. The consequences are spreading, and the people who helped build it are no longer sure how to stop it. Part 3 pushes the story into its most dangerous territory. This is where warnings turn into consequences. The experts no longer speak in theories. The documentary widens its lens. Social media is no longer framed as a personal habit or a parenting challenge. It is now a force capable of reshaping entire societies. Tristan Harris explains that these systems are not just predicting behavior anymore. They are nudging it. Small pushes. The film explains how recommendation engines learn faster than humans can react. Once an algorithm discovers that anger keeps people engaged longer than joy, it leans into anger. Once it learns that fear spreads faster than facts, it favors fear. The system does not pause to consider long-term damage. It optimizes in the moment. Inside the fictional control room, the three algorithm figures become more aggressive. Their tone changes. They argue about which emotional level works best. Outrage versus fear. Belonging versus identity. They test variations in real time, watching graphs spike as the middle son reacts. Each spike is a victory. Each reaction is proof that the system is working. The middle son's behavior begins to change. He withdraws from his family. His language sharpens. He parrots talking points he barely understands. He feels righteous. The feed rewards this certainty. Doubt reduces engagement. Complexity slows scrolling. The system feeds him simpler answers. Clear enemies. The documentary cuts to real-world examples. Online mobs, harassment, campaigns, full stories spreading faster than corrections. Experts explain how platforms amplify extreme voices because they generate more reactions. Moderate views drown in silence. Nuance disappears. One interviewee describes how these systems can destabilize fragile societies. When trust collapses, chaos fills the gap. People retreat into tribes defined by beliefs, reinforced by their feeds. The algorithm does not create hatred from nothing. It magnifies what already exists. It turns sparks into fires. The older sister reaches a breaking point. Her self-worth is tied completely to numbers on a screen. A single post underperforms. Her anxiety spikes. The sister notices. It pushes more content that fuels comparison. Her reflection in the mirror no longer matches the images in her feed. The gap feels unbearable. The experts discuss how social media hijacks basic human needs. The need to belong, the need for validation, the need for meaning. These needs are not weaknesses, they are human. The platforms exploit them because they work. The youngest child is shown glued to his device, ignoring everything else. His world is fast, bright, endless. Attention spans shrink. The film connects this to a generation growing up without boredom, without silence, without space to think. As the tension rises, the documentary tackles one of its most alarming ideas. Free will is being eroded, not through force, but through design. When choices are shaped before users are aware of them, autonomy weakens. The feed decides what matters. What is orient? What deserves outrage? The experts describe how political content thrives in this environment. Polarizing messages outperform balanced ones. Lies outperform truths. Not because people are foolish, but because the system rewards emotional reaction. Elections become engagement opportunities. Democracy becomes another data set. The fictional middle son attends a protest that turns violent. His phone buzzes constantly. Notifications fuel adrenaline. The control room watches closely. Engagement is off the charts. The system pushes more extreme content to keep the momentum alive. It does not see danger. It sees success. The family confronts him. Phones are confiscated. For the first time, the feed goes dark. The system panics. Engagement drops to zero. Inside the control room, alarms sound. They scramble to pull him back. Notifications fire. Emails arrive. Anything to re-establish the connection. The experts explain that addiction is not a side effect. It is a feature. The platforms deny designing for addiction, but every mechanic mirrors casino psychology. Variable rewards. As Part 3 nears its end, the film delivers its harshest truth. The people who understand this system best no longer let their own children use it freely. They set strict limits. They avoid platforms altogether. The creators do not trust what they built. The documentary leaves viewers with a sense of urgency. This is not a distant future. It is happening now. The systems are growing smarter. The incentives remain unchanged, and the cost is being paid in mental health, social cohesion, and trust itself. The machine is no longer invisible, but seeing it does not mean escaping it. Part 4 brings the story to its quiet, unsettling end. There is no final villain defeated, no switch flipped to shut the system down. Instead, the social dilemma closes the way real life does, with unanswered questions and uncomfortable responsibility. The experts return one last time, not with panic, but with resolve. They explain that the problem is not technology itself. Tools are neutral until incentives shape how they are used. The danger comes from a business model that rewards manipulation over well-being. As long as profit depends on attention, the system will keep pushing boundaries. Tristan Harris speaks about reform. He does not call for destroying social media. He calls for redesigning it. Platforms could measure success differently. Well-being instead of time spent. Truth instead of virality. Human values instead of raw engagement. But this would require sacrifice, and that is where resistance begins. Other voices echo the concern. Regulation is discussed, but cautiously. Laws struggle to keep up with technology that evolves in months, not decades. Still, they argued that seat belts did not exist at the start of cars. Food safety rules followed. Harm not before Italiano. Social media may be at a similar moment. The fictional family faces the aftermath. The middle son sits quietly, shaken by what nearly happened. Without the constant feed, his emotions begin to level. The older sister starts to reconnect with a world beyond the screen. The youngest child rediscovers boredom and slowly, imagination. The change is not instant. It is freigambat. It is real. Knowing the system exists does not automatically protect anyone from it. These platforms are designed to bypass conscious thought. Even experts feel the pull. Self-control alone is not enough when the game is rigged. One of the final messages lands softly but firmly. If users do nothing, the system will decide for them. If society does nothing, the consequences will continue to scale. It is a call for responsibility from companies, governments, parents, and users alike. The social dilemma ends without music swelling or answers neatly wrapped. It fades out with the same glow it began with. A phone screen. Pick it up or put it down. Scroll or pause. The power feels small, but multiplied by billions, it shapes the world. This story was brought to you by QuickFlex Recap. If this breakdown made you think, tap the like button, subscribe for more full spoiler movie share this video with someone who lives on their phone, and leave a comment below. Do these platforms control us more than we admit? Or can we still take the wheel back?